Welcome to this explainer on the absolutely incredible cinnamon fern. We're going to give you the complete beginner to expert guide on turning those notoriously wet, shady spots in your yard or home into a striking woodland showcase. Let's dive right in.
Are you totally tired of delicate ferns that just give up and die the second their soil gets a little too soggy? I mean, if you've ever been frustrated by traditional houseplant ferns rotting in standing water, you are gonna love this. Because the cinnamon fern, it doesn't just tolerate a swampy mess, it literally demands it.
Here's our masterclass blueprint. We'll be moving right through meeting the cinnamon fern, perfecting soil and water, dialing in light and climate, mastering care and propagation, troubleshooting, and then wrapping up with expert styling.
Section 1. Meet the cinnamon fern, the native statement.
Say hello to Osmundastrum cinnamomeum. Now, as you know, ferns don't bloom, but this dramatic, long-lived native fern, it produces its spores on these incredible rust cinnamon-colored fertile spikes. They shoot straight up from the center of this tall, gorgeous green vase of sterile fronds. Honestly, it's a total sensory delight. In the spring, you get these silvery white, woolly fiddleheads that emerge and unroll into lush green leaves, right alongside those rusty cinnamon sticks that give the plant its name. It's basically a sculptural statement piece, perfectly designed for those swampy spots where your other plants would simply drown.
Section 2. Perfecting soil and water for these bog-loving ferns.
You know those standard houseplant rules we all follow? Yeah, go ahead and throw those right out the window. Usually, we let plants dry out a bit between waterings in nice, well-draining soil. But the cinnamon fern evolved in cool, wet bogs. It actually wants to be consistently wet. It thrives in heavy, acidic bog soil. And get this, it actively loves sitting in a saucer of standing water. A typical Boston fern would turn to mush in a week under these conditions, but the cinnamon fern, it absolutely eats it up.
So the real secret here is getting that highly specific soil dialed in. The ultimate DIY cinnamon fern mix needs to be a highly acidic, moisture-retentive recipe that mimics its natural forest floor habitat. We're talking 2 parts peat moss or cocoa peat as your base, 1 part composted leaf mold or pine bark, 1 part standard potting soil, and just a 1/2 part perlite or coarse sand. Whatever you do, avoid lean, alkaline potting soils or succulent mixes at all costs. A good rule of thumb, if you squeeze a handful of this mix, it should hold together just like a wet sponge cake.
Section 3. Light and climate. Dialing in the temperature and humidity. When it comes to light, the cinnamon fern is a true, undeniable shade lover. We're talking part to full shade here. Think a north-facing window, a deeply shaded porch, or maybe dappled shade beneath a high canopy tree. Direct afternoon sun is literally your worst enemy. Just one single day of unfiltered summer afternoon sun will bleach those beautiful green sterile fronds to a flat, sad yellow. Worse, it'll burn, tan scorch patches right into the leaves, and honestly, they simply won't recover. So for sure, stick to deep or dappled shade. 60. That is your magic number. 60% is the absolute minimum ideal humidity for this plant when it's actively growing. If you're keeping it indoors, that hot, dry winter air in our centrally heated homes, that is the fastest possible way to kill this fern. If the humidity drops below 45%, the tips are going to go brown. Below 35%, the plant suffers severely. You absolutely have to use pebble trays, cool mist humidifiers, or just keep it in a naturally damp outdoor environment near some water. It's absolutely crucial to understand this plant's life cycle. As the saying goes, a cold winter rest is what triggers reliable fertile fronds the next spring. Seriously, you cannot keep this plant warm year-round. If you do, it just completely skips its famous cinnamon-colored show and only pushes out green leaves. It actually wants to go fully dormant in a cool spot. It can even survive freezing outdoor temperatures. It needs that chill to reset for next year's spectacular display. Section 4. Care and propagate, feeding and pruning. Maintenance for the cinnamon fern is actually delightfully low fuss, but it is highly specific. Once that first hard frost hits in autumn and the fronds collapse, you want to cut everything completely down to the ground. But be careful here. Make sure you cut about an inch above the rhizome so you aren't slicing into the knobby trunk itself. Then, when early spring rolls around, give it a light organic feeding by top dressing with about an inch of compost or leaf mold. Stay away from heavy liquid feeds, they'll just give you weak floppy fronds. This light, organic approach is exactly what builds that strong, upright vase shape the plant is famous for.
Now, if you're growing these in containers, you're going to need to step up your fern every 2 to 3 years into a larger 5 to 15 gallon pot. It's a bit of a process, but here's how you do it. First, soak the parent pot the day before so the rhizome doesn't crack on you. Second, tip it and gently ease that heavy plant out. Third, take some sterile scissors and trim away any black or mushy roots. Fourth, settle it into that fresh peaty mix we talked about earlier. And this is key. Make sure the top of the rhizome sits exactly at the soil surface. If you bury it too deep, you're looking at instant crown rot. Finally, just backfill, water it deeply, and add your mulch.
Okay, but what if you want more ferns? Who wouldn't, right? The primary propagation method here is dividing mature clumps that are at least 4 to 5 years old. You want to tackle this in early spring, right as those woolly fiddleheads start pushing up. Dig up the parent plant and rinse the soil off so you can clearly see the joins between the crowns. Then take a sterilized knife or even a saw and cut straight down through that woody rhizome. Plant those new divisions at the exact same depth as the parent, water them deeply, and make sure you keep them shaded for about 2 weeks so they can recover.
Section 5. Troubleshooting those common fern problems.
Pests are actually super rare for this fern, which is great. But environmental issues, yeah, those are pretty common. Let's look at a few visual symptoms and their direct cures so you can instantly save your plant. Got brown, crispy edges? Well, that's dry air or dry soil. You want to soak the root ball and get a humidifier going. What about mid-season yellowing on the inner fronds? That usually means your soil dried out, or maybe the pH drifted a bit too alkaline. Just top dress with composted pine bark or peat to bring that acidity right back. And if you spot tan, scorched patches, sunburn. No question. Move the plant to deep shade immediately, because those burned fronds are gone for good.
Section 6. Expert styling and our final ProCare tips. All right, here are some rapid-fire expert tips to totally elevate your fern game. First up, style this plant against a dark backdrop. Think a dark-stained fence, a mossy boulder, or an evergreen hedge. It really makes those rust cinnamon fertile fronds just pop visually. You can also pair it with ostrich ferns for height or Japanese painted ferns for a gorgeous silvery contrast. Now always water before it droops, because a deep dryout will often ruin the current season's foliage entirely. And here's a fun one. Whatever you do, leave that silvery fill head fuzz alone. Hummingbirds and yellow warblers actually harvest it to line their nests. How cool is that? Finally, for containers, absolutely avoid terracotta. It just pulls moisture right out of the soil. Stick to those big 5+ gallon glazed pots instead.
So, having seen the whole shebang, I have to ask, are you ready to bring the ancient beauty of the forest floor right into your own space? The cinnamon fern definitely demands a highly specific environment, but once you provide that cool, wet, acidic shade, it is going to reward you with a spectacular sculptural show year after year, literally for decades. Apply what we've covered today, and you'll be well on your way to mastering this incredible plant. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and hey, happy planting!